I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're setting sail with Meet Dave Lassam, the man for the job, my 39 years of service in the Royal Australian Navy. This memoir offers a deep dive into the life of Dave Lassam, a medic and medical administration officer whose nearly four-decade career spanned disaster zones, humanitarian missions, and pivotal moments in Australia's history. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Dave, what an honor and a privilege to have you on our show today. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Tell us about the initial decision. What made you decide to join the Royal Australian Navy, and how did your expectations match your experiences?
Was obviously a fairly long time ago now. It was 1977. I was just finishing high school in Tasmania, in Australia. And right at the end of the year, a whole stack of my friends said they were going to go to the Defence Recruiting Office in town, and because they all wanted to fly jets, they wanted to be jet pilots in the Navy. And I had no idea, and they just sort of said, come on, you come with us. And so off we went. I had no idea what I was going to be able to do because I didn't think I'd be able to fly because I wear glasses. And we got to the recruiting office, and we were interviewed, tested, and all. They turned around and said to me, look, if you want to get in with my parents, my mum was working in a hospital. My grandfather was a air raid warden during World War II in England. And so they immediately said, oh, you'd be right for being a medic. And okay. So we did the testing, and of the six of us that went, I was the only one that actually passed the testing and got in. But the ones who wanted to be pilots just didn't make the grade, which is no thing against them. It's just that they weren't fit to be able to fly. And so about 2-3 months later, I joined. So I basically went in without my friends, but it was the best move I ever made. Now I look back at it. Back then, of course, it was quite scary, and going through the things you see, like basic training, and which is pretty much similar in most defence forces of the world. So they make you from a civilian into a sailor, soldier, or airman, whatever you're in. And I must admit, I did enjoy it, the start of it. And once I got going, it was really good.
It's amazing what a game changer that one afternoon was when you went to the service and see if you could enlist, and things started moving, and yes, they'll take you, and you could enlist, and it changed your life, and you were there for quite a long time, 39 years. Now, as you look over the course of your career, could you share with us maybe one of the most memorable moments from your service?
I have had many, as you could probably guess from the book, and to pick one is pretty difficult. But I think, and when the Bali bombings occurred, which was the year after 9/11, so America had suffered that horrendous attack on the World Trade Center, and about almost a year later, exactly, on the 12th of October, a bomb went off in Bali. Now, at that time, I was in Darwin, which is to the north of Australia, in the northern part, and we were at the headquarters there. And my job was to look after the entire north of Australia from a medical point of view. There was a small team, but I was the operational side of it. And basically, I'd literally been out at the barbecue that morning because it was a Sunday, and I got word that a bomb had gone off, and I said, well, oh, okay. Had no real inkling about what it was about to lead to. And I went into work to see if I could help, and then it all started, and we were getting information coming back from that. And we had to organise Hercules flights to come into Darwin and then go to Bali to pick up people. We had to organise the teams that go with it, all the medical equipment going. I was literally racing around some of the army bases in Darwin to pick up stretchers, just get as many stretchers as I could and get them to the airport. And then we load them on the planes along with fluids and drugs and all the rest of it, and the staff, of course, to get them through to Bali. And then So that started the sort of 5 days that I was tied right to this. And as you can imagine, it was the first time I'd actually ever been an operationally in charge officer for a mission. And so must admit, I was a bit concerned that I was going to be above what I was capable of doing. But you find what you need to find. And we had all the people come in. I saw every patient that flew into Darwin. We had them off to hospital, made them as fit as we could to fly to the south of Australia, because Darwin is a big country town, so to speak, if you can look at it that way. And the rest of Australia, the capitals of Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, all had larger hospital areas and burns units, because that was the main injuries that really occurred. So we had to organise that. So within 24 hours, 36 hours after we received them, they were all back into their own states and where they came from, and into the respective hospitals. So that was the big one that sticks out in my mind. As I said, I've had lots and lots over the years, but it was probably the first really big, oops, did we get this right? And it took a while to sort of come to terms with it, because it was pretty horrible to see what people do. So,
yeah. 39 years of service in the Royal Australian Navy. 39 years with any one company or entity is a lot, but to be in the Navy for 4 decades is quite amazing. Are you one of the longest serving servicemen in the history of the Royal Australian Navy? I would think you'd have to be, right?
I'd be up there with some of the people who actually joined with me. A few of them have gone over 40, and there's the odd one or two who've managed to do 50. But from what we call a full-time perspective, I'm in the top couple of percent of people. A lot of people can go to what we call the reserves and continue service, but as a reservist. So they might not, they don't work full-time, they go home and do stuff. So, and that service is counted, of course. But I never did reserves. I was full-time the whole time I was there. So, look, I'd be up there in the top, 1 or 2%, I suppose.
Yeah. What message do you hope readers take away from your journey through nearly 4 decades of service with the Navy?
I think mainly that it doesn't matter who you are. We've all got a story, as we know. We all have that story in us, and whatever it might be, you've got a story in you. But I think I would hope to say that even a bloke like myself, who was a young man who was perhaps a little bit not quite sure of what I wanted to do, and when I found the Navy and the Defence Force, it gave me direction. It smartened me up a bit, and I think I've showed that you can do just about anything when you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
If you had told me when I first joined that you're going to last that long, I would have laughed at you, because I was worried about the first couple of weeks, literally. But as you go on and you get the idea, and okay, this is what we're doing, and then you have that function that you know that you can do, and especially as a medic, where you help a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
You're still part of that machine that has to go to war as required, but also we do humanitarian things and so forth. We've had a lot of that in Australia as well as overseas that I've been part of. So it gives you a big grounding and everything. But I always used to say to young people, and I do talk to a lot of young people still, if I can do it, you can do it. And I really mean that. I'm just an average, but when we all get together and we're trained, we can do some really amazing things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you have a heart that's geared towards service, yours was not only serving your country, but it was also serving your fellow servicemen, because being a medic, working in the medical field there, meant you were always busy, because you're not only responding to situations in combat, of course, and accidents and disasters and terrorism like Bali, but also the many accidents that happen to soldiers during the course of their work, right?
Absolutely. Look, every workplace, or let's say, is dangerous. Some are more dangerous than others, depending on. And being ready to be able to help people, especially in the defence one. I mean, it's not always shooting at things, if you can put it that way. There are lots that we work with. And I've seen all sorts of accidents that have happened over the years. And to be able to help the person who's had the accident get through it and rehabilitate and then go back to work and or move on if they have to, if it's that serious. To be part of that is really, I love that part of it. It's be able to help this, for me, is a great thing, I believe.
Yeah. Yep, it's a good thing, helping other people. It makes you feel good. You're doing good for them. And obviously, you're contributing to the cause. The name of the book is Meet Dave Lassam, The Man for the Job, My 39 Years of Service in the Royal Australian Navy. It's quite a book. It's quite a life. It's a life well led. It's a life that has been dedicated to the service of others. This is a wonderful book. You'll want to buy it, you'll want to read it, and you'll want to share it. Dave, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
And thank you for your service as well, sir.
Oh, thank you.
And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.